All right, well, you got to be an athlete to brave all the rain we have today. And I see rain, everything, wind. It's
yes.
Mild temperatures in the 60s.
Yeah, these are approaching record high temperatures for this date for the Boston area. So
how abnormal is this?
Mid-December.
I mean, it happens on occasion here in December. We've had it before, but yeah, it's rare. And it's shocking to us because by tomorrow we're back into the 40s.
That's what it is.
Blustery conditions and then 30s for highs.
It's like it never happened.
New England in a nutshell.
Oh, I love it. Here we go. The highest wind for today. Prepare yourselves 6 to 9 p.m. The worst of the rain and thunderstorm chances also 6 to 9 p.m. The cold temps, we go from 60s to 30s. Later this evening and highs tomorrow barely touching 40 degrees for a lot of spots. This morning we're left with some residual icy spots too, especially as you go outside of 128 and to 495 and the Merrimack Valley as well as the Route 2 corridor. Temperatures are holding right at 32 degrees. It was a very icy day yesterday in those locations, but eventually we are getting some warmer temps surging in. New Bedford, look at that. 55. So the warm air is knocking on your doorstep across Metro West and into southern New Hampshire as we slowly see these temperatures warm. Next couple of hours, though, watch for some slick spots on the road, some freezing fog along with some freezing rainfall. Light glaze of accumulation possible, especially in outlying areas around Lowell, the suburbs around Marlborough, into Leominster, the Worcester Hills. And speaking of Mount Washington, right around parts of New Hampshire here, we have a little bit of icing going on, too, as temperatures are still pretty cool, higher up in the atmosphere, but then you go farther to the south and lower in elevation, and that's where our temperatures are just above 32 degrees. And there you see the map. I mean, it really depends on your location and your elevation, as is typical for this time of the year. So scan that QR code, download our revamped app, and track all of this mess right along with us. The wind, the rain, it's going to be a very active day today as we see the showers and downpours across Boston, the North Shore down through the South Shore, too. Some breaks in the rain from time to time, but in between, we still have some areas of drizzle and the potential for a couple of showers, too. So the big picture, I mean, there's a big transport of moisture coming in right from the Gulf of Mexico and the Atlantic. And as that marches across our area, we have warm temps. We have all this heavy rain, 2 to 4 inches throughout the entire day, and a couple rumbles of thunder. Yes, thunder, lightning, especially with the squall line. These thunderstorms rolling through Boston between 5 o'clock and 7 o'clock, and that wind really ramps up by 7 p.m. So make sure you have anything outdoors secured. All those Christmas lights, Santa, the blow-up reindeers, make sure you bring them inside before this evening because they will end up in your neighbor's yard. Thursday, overnight tonight, midnight, then all of a sudden we get a rapid wind direction shift, and by tomorrow, dramatically colder. How about those wind gusts? 55 plus from the south, and that's going to create some areas of storm damage as well as the potential for power outages through this evening. We calm things down, at least in terms of the damaging wind and also the rain by Thursday, blustery, and then cooling off to 34 by Friday.
Thank you so much for tracking that whirlwind, Pamela.
Morning, it's a wet one out there already. We've seen a little bit of rainfall, but this is just the start to what's yet to come later today. This evening, gusty, warm with downpours, temperatures in the low to mid 60s. It's going to be one of the warmest days in December here. In fact, near record highs for this date expected. By tomorrow, by Friday, we crash back into the 40s to 30s. Quieter to end the week, but it's going to be really blustery and cold, especially on Thursday. For this morning, temperatures are stuck around freezing, and that means we still have some slick spots north and west of Boston as you go outside of 495, Merrimack Valley, Route 2 corridor, southern and central New Hampshire into the Worcester Hills. We still have some light glazing of ice. Worcester to Westboro, any elevated or untreated surfaces will be slick and ice covered until we warm things up, which happens in a couple of hours. We already have very mild air down to our south, and with that, it's going to help to bring in these strong showers, some heavy rain just offshore. It's looming there in the picture, about 40 minutes for those downpours to approach Martha's Vineyard first, 24 miles away from the thick of it. But this is just the start. We have a huge line of showers and thunderstorm chances for the rest of today. An atmospheric river tapping into that off the Atlantic. And because of it, this will help to amplify our chances for rain, translating to about 2 to 4 inches over the course of the day. There will be some breaks in the intense rainfall, but the wind ramps up at the same time as we see some of those breaks. It also contributes to the warm temperatures. So we go into the 60s. You may get a couple of hours to enjoy some of the warmth, as long as you're blocked from some of that south wind. But then 3:30, time to brace yourselves and make sure all those holiday decorations outside are secured. Santa, the blow-up reindeers, things like that, you want to bring them inside because they could get into your neighbor's yard by 6:30. This line, the squall line of thunderstorms, moves through Framingham, Boston, Lynn by 6 o'clock and 8 o'clock later tonight. The wind coinciding with it. And we could even see some isolated severe thunderstorm warnings because the winds will be as high as 55 to 60 miles per hour or greater at the coast. From the south first. Look, after midnight tonight, this is 1:15 in the morning. I show you this because it's still going to be loud and rattling, but the wind is now switching from the west, and we rapidly fall from 50 degrees to 39 degrees in a matter of just a few hours. Watching for slick spots developing, icy spots too. Around Greater Boston, I don't think we'll get to 32 degrees overnight. So with that, we do expect record highs today. Fascinating. The daily record high set in 1911 in Boston, 68. We're going with a forecast high of 64. We get close to that magic number, though. But speaking of numbers, look at these winds, 55 to even higher with those wind gusts, and power outage risk really gets higher south and east as we go through this evening and as the line of thunderstorms pushes through. Here's our 10-day forecast. We get cool, we get blustery for Thursday and a Friday. Friday's high only 33.